Hello and welcome to the Elemental Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I'm very excited because for the first time, I am doing our astrological season reading for the collective live on YouTube. For those of you who are new here, I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome to the channel. If you're also watching over on Instagram, this is a reminder that I will be no longer using Instagram to promote my business starting in January of 2024. So if you're interested in continuing to watch these card readings and following me and watching my content and my videos, please make sure you go subscribe over on YouTube. Same name there as here, Intuitive Edge Coaching. And we're going to jump right into these cards. I first want to say, especially to our YouTube fam, if you're new to my work, that these card readings I do every single month on the first day of the new astrological season. And the cards are always the same 6 cards, the same prompts in the same order. They've been prayed over. I shuffle the deck until the cards jump out. The ones that are for us are for us. So these are the cards for everyone as we come into Sagittarius season. And I'm really excited about this reading because we got some very different cards than we've been getting. And I love seeing that. Sometimes we get these readings where we're kind of getting the same messages over and over. And when that happens, I feel like we're not heeding the messages that we're getting. We're staying a little bit stuck, a little stagnant. But this time we have a very different vibe in this spread. So I don't know if it's like this Sag ending the year thing that's happening, but it seems like some big shifts have been made and the cards are really reflecting that. And so I'm excited for us. We're going to get into these cards. The first card is releasing allegiances. And this card is about what's going on for us right now. And what this card suggests is that you are coming into a period where it's time for you to focus on yourself. It's time for you to leave some other people behind for you to tend to yourself. And this can mean a lot of different things. This is a reading for the collective. So remember, this can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But here are some ways that we could be taking this. Number one is after a long period, maybe a lifetime, of orienting all of your focus toward what other people want, what other people want you to do, what other people want for you, what makes other people comfortable. You're starting to realize that in order for you to get what you want and to go where you want to go in your life, you've got to just not pay attention to that for a little while and really focus on what you want. It could mean that after a long period of using a ton of your emotional and time resources to take care of others, that you're like, no, I got to pull all my resources back and use them for myself right now so that I can do the things that I'm trying to do in the world and get where I'm trying to go. If you have kids, it could also be like your kids are getting older and there was a time where almost all of your focus was on getting your kids where you needed your kids to be. And now they're older and they're kind of doing their own thing. And you're like, okay, I actually can pull some of my focus and my resources back to me. Another thing it could also mean, because I work with a lot of helping and healing professionals who feel really deeply about wanting to take care of others and bring people with them. And sometimes that can also include feeling maybe kind of guilty about doing well in their business, doing well financially, leaving certain life circumstances that they feel that their friends and their comrades are still in. And this feeling of you have to go through the door yourself first. You have to do the healing you need to do the up-leveling you need to do the growing you need to do, start the projects you need to start. You need to go through the door first and get everything set up, and then you can go back for people. But you can't keep yourself in a certain place out of loyalty to the people who are in that place. So right now you're coming into this stage of okay, I gotta just when you see the figure on this card, right? She's wrapping herself in love. I've gotta just bring all my love, all my resources, all my focus back onto myself for a little while and the things that I'm trying to do and the things I'm trying to create so that I can come back into a period of greater connection, greater community, greater connectivity on the other side of it. This isn't forever. It is for now. The other thing this card says is that all of the personal development work you've been doing is working. And that's why you're in this place. All of the ground you've been laying, all of the work that you've been doing, the therapy, the coaching, the journaling, the spiritual work, the preparation to start your business, the art you've been doing, everything you've been doing is working. And so because of that, you're experiencing the precipice of a level up. And that's great news. What that level up means, unfortunately, is not everyone gets to come with us. Every new level, not everybody gets to come with us. And it's not about not valuing the things that this level has brought you. This level has been good to you in a lot of ways. You've learned a lot. You've grown a lot. The connections you've had with people at this level have been good for you. And they are not for what's next. They were for what's now. So you've done good work here. You've been at this level maybe for a while doing this work. And now it's starting to be time to go to the next level. And so we might feel that simultaneous, like, okay, this is good. Like all the work I've done has opened me up to the inspiration and the ideas for what's next. And now here's back that grief, that fear, that sadness that not everyone that I have connected with at this level will get to come with me. That's normal. It's okay. We have to let these things resolve if they need to resolve, give ourselves permission to ebb and flow and to go through periods of outward orientation and inward orientation, of sharing and of holding things close. Right now is a period for taking all of your energy, all of your resources, all of the things you have been pouring into others and focusing them on yourself to get yourself ready for the level up that you are undertaking right now. So what's the block to doing that? The block to doing that is inspiration. And this is a maybe funny card to have come up in the block period, in the block position. But here's what I think about this inspiration card being the block. This level up that you're anticipating, you've had a big idea. You're about to start a business, or you're starting a business, or you're growing your business. You see a next level for yourself. Maybe it's about like you're going to get bigger in the public eye, right? You're going to publish a book. You're going to drop an album. You want to go on tour. There's some expansion that you're about to step into, and it feels like a big idea. And you feel like you can't do it alone. And so there's a conflicting feeling around leaving some people behind in order to step into this big idea, because you're a little bit like, well, how am I going to do this idea by myself? The thing is that you're not. You're not going to do it alone. However, the people from your last level are not going to be the people who are going to help you. People will help you. Inspired community will come forward. There, as you start moving on this, as you start moving in the direction of your big idea, you can trust that new opportunities, new relationships, new collaborators will come forward. But again, you've got to go through that door by yourself in order to get there. So as you go through that door by yourself and you start opening yourself up to these new opportunities, these new connections, these new collaborators, they will come and they will help. They will, but you've got to trust that they're going to be there and not be so afraid that it's like these people or no one. It's these people or everyone else. There is another level waiting for you. You've got to trust that, first of all, this big idea that you're having, it's the right idea. This card is like, no, you're on the right track. It's not too big for you. I say all the time, our desires are not here to tease us or torture us. Our desires are here because we're meant to have them. You would not have the creative inspiration for this next level, for this project, if it wasn't meant for you. It wouldn't have been given to you. You had it because it's yours to have. You will be able to do what you need to do. You will be able to expand into it. You will be able to hold it. It will work if you go for it. And you don't have to do it alone, but you haven't met all of the people that are going to help you and support you yet. And you can't meet them until you do step one, commit into the self-love, commit into the self-trust, pull all the resources back from other people, other places, other things that are draining you right now, pour them all into yourself and your project, start to move in the direction of this big inspiration, and know that it will work out. It's got bees on it. This card talks about sweetness, honey, abundance, goodness that stays, right? Sweetness, that's what honey is. It's goodness that sticks. This goodness will come for you and it will stay if you move in the direction of your inspiration. You've just got to trust that that is possible. And that trust being is going to come a lot in this reading. So it's a big message that we're getting right now about whatever it is that you're looking at, because we're at the end of the year. I think it's the stuff you're plotting on for 2024. Spirit's like, yup. I know that that's a good idea. I know you got all tingly all over when you had that idea. I also know maybe that idea scares you because it feels really big. Go for it. Go in that direction. Yes, it's scary, but it's coming because it's meant for you. So, what is the gift that comes when you start moving in the direction of the inspiration? The gift that comes is focusing on the light. Now, this is a gift and a mandate. Focusing on the light is about staying connected to the pure intention of your heart. And in the description of this card, it very specifically talks about service-oriented businesses. So it maybe you are someone who's like, I have learned and I've studied and I've worked really hard and I've been maybe playing small, I've been dabbling, but next year I'm fucking going for it and I'm ready to get big. I'm ready to have eyes on me. I'm ready to make real money. I'm ready to make real moves. This is like, yes. And heart-centered creative businesses have the potential to move into the public sphere and become very lucrative and very successful. And so what this talks about when you're focusing on the light is it's really easy to get focused on the everything else, right? What if it goes wrong? All of the self-doubt. What if I get called out on the internet? What if I get a much bigger platform and then I have to deal with criticism? What if I acquire a bunch more resources and then I lose friends? What if I acquire a bunch more resources and it changes me and I become no longer a heart-centered person? That's like, this is not going to happen to you. What you are being asked to do is to stay focused on why you want to do this work in the first place. Why did you have this idea? Why did you spend all this time studying these skills? Why did you spend all of this time developing your craft? Stay focused on the why, on your deep why, your capital W why. Why am I here doing this work? Why do I care about this? Why is it meaningful to me? Why is it enjoyable to me? Why do I truly believe that this thing that I do is for the benefit of the planet? And staying connected to the why of it. It's very easy in business. We all know this, I think, to get very caught up in ourselves, right? Our ego stuff. And that's not bad, right? Ourselves are part of it. But when we get scared about what are people going to think about me and our limiting beliefs, and when we get scared about money, all of these things that can come up when we're starting to put our work out there in the world, focusing on our insecurities and our doubts takes us away from focusing on why we want to do this work to begin with and how much we believe in what we're trying to create and what we're trying to do. So the gift of moving in the direction of your inspiration and being like, no, I'm really going for it, is that it's going to allow you to stay focused and committed to the reason you want to go into this to begin with. And so the advice that I have for you as you're undertaking this next phase is like, maybe meditate on it every day, maybe journal on it every day, maybe write it down over your altar somewhere where you can connect with it, but to keep coming back over and over to why you wanted to do this work in the first place. For most of us, our why is the reason we're able to endure the uncertainty and the scariness of going into business for ourselves, is because we're so committed to why we want to do this work, to why we care about this stuff, to why we want to help people, that why is the thing that keeps us going in those hard moments. So as you're moving forward, this is another card that says, commercial success will be yours if you can stay focused, laser focused on why this work matters and the emotional, true, tender thing that brought you to this work in the first place. That's where your success is going to be. So the more you stay focused there, Spirit says it's going to work. Spirit's like, yes, go, do it. Stay focused on your why. How do we deal with other people during this period? This is very interesting. We got visions of life beyond death. Now, this card is about all of these next few cards are about light, are about your light, about the light of humanity, about light in the world. As I'm recording this, it's a weird, fucked up time to be a human being. We are watching great civil unrest. We are watching active genocide in multiple countries. We are watching the deterioration of political structures. There's a lot going on. There's a recession happening. There are a lot of challenges that all of us are navigating. And sometimes I know in conversations I've been having with people, it can be hard to navigate. Is it a good time for me to be focused on my sacred work? Is it a good time for me to be focusing my resources emotionally on myself? And to me, as someone who's trained in anthropology, the answer is never either or. It is always both and. Do we need to be focused on the collective and humanity and community? 100%. Do we need to do that to the detriment of our own care? Absolutely not. If we're not resourced, if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're not rested, if we're not fed, if we're not doing what we can to take care of our vessel, then how can we be present for the collective? How can we show up? It is not either or. We are part of the collective. We forget that sometimes when we try to be so focused on others and so focused on humans. Like you're also a human and your little body is part of the collective as well. You also need to be cared for. And the work that you're here to do, your gifts, your skills, your talents are part of how you're here to help during this time. It is not frivolous. And there's part of you that knows that and feels that truth. And that's part of the reason you're being called into this greater level of service now, to get bigger now. It's not just for you. It's not just for your exaltation. It's not just for your ego. It's not just for your bank account. That's not the kind of person you are if you're here. You're here to help people. You're here to share beauty. You're here to help other people navigate hard times. You're here to help other people manage stress and trauma. You're here to help other people heal. You're here to expand collective consciousness. Like, if you're here, I already know you're here for those reasons. And that pouring effort, time, resources, energy into yourself so that you can give your gifts is not selfish. It's not taking away from the collective. If the gift that was placed on your life is that you're here to sing songs, then during times of struggle, sing your damn songs. If you're here to tell stories, then during times of struggle, tell stories. I'm tearing up because I can feel that this is the message that is for somebody so deeply. If the gift that was put on your calling, on your life, is to help people heal, then during times of great struggle, you're here on the front lines to help people heal. All of the conditioning, all of the Maya, all of the stuff that gets in the way, all of the programming, all of the white supremacist, cis, hetero, capitalist, ableist patriarchy that says you're here to work a job and shut the fuck up. You're here to be compliant. That's what feels incongruous. That's what doesn't feel right. That's what feels superficial. How can I just be here to work and pay taxes when my taxes are going to these things that don't make sense to me? All of that conflict is because that's not what you're here to do. We weren't put on this planet to get a job and pay taxes and die. We were not. And so knowing this truth, this vision of life beyond death, this truth that what you incarnated to do in this lifetime, in this period of collective activity, awakening consciousness, is not an accident. Your gifts are not superfluous. Everyone has a part to play, and everyone's contributions are valuable and important. We all need to be doing the work that we're here to do. And there is no work that's less important than other work. There just isn't. We've been taught that there is, but there isn't. We need medicine and we need songs. We need healers and we need actors, right? Like we're like, oh, that's not important. But what do people need, right? Like during times of war, like musicals would always go up through the roof and movie ticket sales go up. It's because we need stories and songs and connection. We need places to go to feel cared for. We need soft places to land. It can't be all hard work all the time. That's not what it means to be a person. And so if there's anyone who's telling you that this isn't a good time for you to be focused on your gifts, this isn't a good time for you to be focused on a business, this isn't a good time for you to be trying to share your work with the world, this isn't a good time for you to be trying to reach more people, maybe perhaps the thing that you're feeling is like, if not now, when? And if not me, who? Who's going to sing my songs? Who's going to share my observations? Who's going to tell my stories? There are people out there who will resonate with your work the way that you're here to do it. And those people need you right now, and they will continue to need you later. I don't want to get too dark. There's never going to be a good time, and it's not necessarily going to get better. That's not the precipice that humanity is on. It's not this is going to get lighter before it gets darker situation. So I think this is an all hands on deck for the artists, for the creatives, for the healers, for the spiritually awakened, for the people who feel like they are here to share beauty and help on this planet. It's ours right now. It's our time to step forward, because who the fuck else? And the people who have been running it were not really pleased with the job they've been doing, quite frankly. So your work is not superficial. It's not superfluous on the planet. The work you have to do here is important. It is part of your place in the collective. It is not self-aggrandizing or self-serving for you to be pursuing it. It is important. You are important. It is valuable. You are valuable. Your work is valuable. Your voice is valuable. Now is the time. Yes, go forward. Do the work. And if there's anyone in your life right now who is maybe trying to tell you that that's not true, those are not the people to listen to. And it's time to just like look at what they're struggling with and where their mental is at and where their priorities are. And you don't have to necessarily agree with them, and they don't have to necessarily agree with you, because remember, we're going into a time of you pulling your focus back, your connection back from needing everyone else's approval in your life and giving all of your energy to what they want you to be, and focusing it on yourself and what you want yourself to be, so that you can move in the direction of your inspiration, so that you can move in the direction of your abundance, of your ability to help, heal, and share in a big way. I asked in this case, not just for a message from your higher self, but specifically, excuse me, for a message from your future self. And the card that we got was Legacy of Light. The work that you're here to do, the creative work that you're here to do, is part of your calling on this planet. It is part of the reason you came here. That's not a joke. It's not an accident. It's not a mistake. If it feels meant for you, it's because it is. You are meant to do it. And by you doing it, you are healing part of your lineage, part of your spiritual lineage, part of your family lineage. You are here to do this work. You are part of a legacy of light on the planet. You are part of a lineage of people who have come here to shift things. That sounds grandiose, right? But it's not. There's that thing that gets floated around that about time travel, right? And that like in all the time travel movies, we understand that if you go back to the past and you change one small thing, that it could radically change the future. But we sometimes forget that in the present, one small thing that we're doing can radically change the future. It's easy in the present to say, I'm not that important. My work's not that important. Me singing my little songs and writing my little books and sharing my little stories and helping my little community isn't that important. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The more of us that are doing this work, the bigger the work gets. You may just be a drop of it, but together we're a wave. This is meant to happen. You are meant to be here. You are meant to do this work. When you look back at the generations in your family and you chart what has happened in people's lives, maybe even the incremental progress that has happened in people's lives, and then you look at your branch of that tree, Where is your branch going? How are you changing things? How are you changing things in the entire history, backward and forward, of your lineage? Even if you never have physical children here on earth, how does the work that you're doing right now change everything for the people who came before you and for the people who came after you if you live your story? How does everything change? That's who you are. That's who you know yourself to be. And even if that feels a little scary and a little daunting, it should also feel comforting, because this is your purpose. This is your place. And so your future self wants you to know that by you stepping into this work, you are creating a ripple effect of change for your entire lineage, your spiritual lineage, your family ancestry. All of this is changing because you are being brave enough to focus your resources on yourself, to focus on your own healing, to focus on cycle breaking, to focus on really breaking out of what everyone else may want you to do, and instead going in the direction of what you know in your soul to be right and true for you following your inspiration, for you focusing on why this is important, for you understanding that your work is important in the world. You change the past and the future. This is not a game. Even if it seems like just a small little thing, I'm just starting my own little business, I'm happy with my 10, 5, 15, 20 little clients. This is a big deal. The work you're doing is a big deal. You are making a profound ripple effect in the planet, on the planet, in the world, in the universe, in the cosmos. You are making a change, and that is real, and it will be felt. You will feel it in the future. Your family will feel it in the future. You are healing part of your lineage. This also suggests that if you're not doing elevated ancestor work, it may be a good time to call on those elevated ancestors who probably also had similar gifts to you, but maybe were not able to live them the way that you are potentially able to live them. They want to support you. They want to guide you. They are on your team. They're on your side. They're cheering you on. And if you don't maybe have an altar set up to them, if you're not talking to them, if you're not asking them actively to support and protect you, this would be a good time to enlist them into your team, because they want to be a part of what's happening and they support you. And then the final outcome, trust yourself. All of this is leading up to this. Trust yourself as you pull back from connections with others so that you can move in the direction of your inspiration, so that you can focus on what you really believe that you're here to do, so that you can change the world, so that you can change the lineage of your life, your family, your spiritual lineage. Trust yourself. This card talks about growth and how important it is to trust that growth is happening right now, even if you can't feel it. Your hair is growing right now. Your skin is growing right now. Your nails are growing right now. We're growing all the time, even if we can't feel it. Your hair knows how to grow, even if you don't tell it to grow. Your nails know how to grow, even when you don't tell them to grow. You know how to grow. It is part of your blueprint. Growth is happening right now, even if it feels so incremental that you can't tell that it's happening. This card asks you to trust. It is happening. You are evolving. The reason you're coming into this period of it's time for me to pull all my resources back and give them to myself and focus on myself, a reminder where we started, is because you've done so much growing that these new pathways are now available to you. You are growing. You're doing a good job. It's all happening in the almost famous sense. It's all happening. Trust yourself, and trust yourself to be able to handle whatever comes next, whatever this expansion is that's on the other side of you pulling into yourself, focusing yourself on your inspiration, stepping out and reconnecting with the world in a bigger way, in a new incarnation. The fears that you may have struggled with in the past about what if it doesn't work? What if it's bad? My advice for everyone all the time, we don't do all of this stuff so that nothing bad will ever happen. That's not the goal. The goal is not that you will only ever get 100% good feedback. The goal is not that every launch you have of every product will completely sell out. The goal is not that every single thing you share will get rave reviews. The goal is that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. That's the point of personal development work. That's the point of increasing our nervous system capacity. That's the point of doing all of this healing, is so that when things don't go exactly the way that we want them to, we can still back ourselves and we won't crumble and we won't give up and we won't beat ourselves up and we won't call ourselves a failure, knowing that you can trust yourself to have your own back and to navigate every single outcome you encounter, whether you deem that outcome positive or negative. And note that I didn't say whether or not it's good or bad, because there's no such thing. Whether or not you deem the outcome positive or negative doesn't matter. You're going to be able to handle it. You're going to be resourced enough to handle it. You're going to have the people in place to support you as you handle it. You're going to be okay. And that's part of what growth is. It's not having some delusional belief that nothing you don't like will ever happen again in your life and that tragedy will never befall you and you'll never have, a hangnail or a bad hair day. That's not the point. There will be tragedy, guaranteed. There will be loss, guaranteed. There will be pain, guaranteed. That doesn't mean stay right where you are and never risk anything. You can stay right where you are and never risk anything, and there will still be loss, and there will still be tragedy, and there will still be pain. It's part of the package. We came to Earth School to learn these lessons, to have these experiences. We came into a body because we wanted to know what pain felt like. Here we are. We also came into a body because we wanted to know what joy felt like. And here we are. We want to know what giving feels like. We want to know what connection feels like. And it includes a full spectrum of emotion. Some of those emotions feel like shit. Some of those experiences are not fun. That's okay. You're going to be all right. You can handle it. You are not where you used to be. And in the future, you will not be where you are right now. You will be able to handle it. It's time to trust yourself. Yes, you can take big risks. Yes, you can do hard things. Yes, you can deal with expansion. The best thing that you can do is trust yourself to parent yourself lovingly through whatever situations come up, and know that you will take care of yourself. You will make sure that you're okay. You will get yourself the help you need. You will be loving and gentle and kind. You will be your own soft place to land. All of these resources, all this love, all the support you're giving to others, you're going to give it to yourself when you need it. And if you can trust yourself to do that, then anything that happens will be all right. We gonna be all right. So, what is the shadow for this season? The shadow for this season is movement. What this suggests to me is that our worlds have gotten a little small. I don't know if this is true for you. I know that it's been true for me. It's something I've been thinking about a little bit, especially post-COVID. My world has gotten a little small. I'm not seeing as many people. I don't go out as much. I don't have as many social engagements as I used to. Maybe my network is a little smaller. This is also about your physical body movement. So if you've come into a place where you're not moving as much as you would like to, maybe, or as is, good for you to move, to the ability that you can move, you're being asked to move, to sweat, to circulate, to breathe, to get your blood pumping, to get oxygen moving through you, to cry, right? Crying is also movement. Laughing is also movement. Get out and mix a little bit more. Even if that doesn't necessarily mean social things, maybe it's time in nature. Maybe you need to go to a museum. Maybe you need to just shake up your routine a little bit. Some of this expansion is going to call you to stop being quite so stagnant physically. So I don't know if y'all have this. There are days that I just fully don't leave my house, right? I work from home. Everything's here. My cats are here. My stuff is here. We can get everything delivered. It's very easy for me to never leave my house. So if you're like me and you've let your world get a little small, the shadow for this season is it's time to invite in a little bit more movement into our lives, both physically and in space. Get out there, mix and mingle. Let the light in, go do some things, go talk to some humans, or at least talk to their dogs if they're walking dogs. So there we have it. That's our Sagittarius season reading for the collective. I feel really excited about this for all of us. I don't know who this is for, but if you recognized yourself in it, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your expansion, your evolution, your next phase. And I will share, because it is Black Friday week as I'm recording this, I have a few offerings that I would love to share with you to be part of that expansion process for you. I have 3 different offerings for Black Friday. Number 1 is the Master Moon Playbook. Every year I put out these beautiful guided new and full moon journals. Mine is right next to me, so I can show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. They're black with a gold foil cover. And this journal gives you, first of all, a little astrological primer. It teaches you a little bit about the phases of the moon and how to use them. It has a lot of coloring book aspects. It has places where you can fill in your own birth chart, where you can fill in the tarot card for your sun and moon sign and draw them. And then it gives you some very basic astrology primer, how to understand planets, the zodiac signs, and the houses. And then it gives you how to find degrees in your own birth chart, and that all maps out. It guides you through intention setting for the year ahead. This is my book from last year, so you're seeing my actual journal. Intention setting for the year ahead in different areas of your life. It gives you a year ahead tarot card spread. And then every new and full moon for the entire year, it gives you a little breakdown of, so this year started with a full moon at 16 degrees Cancer. It breaks down a little bit about what that means. And then it invites you into journaling around where 16 degrees of Cancer falls in your chart and what that might mean for you as areas to explore in your own emotions. And then it gives you a tarot spread for that new and full moon. And it goes through like that every new and full moon for the year at the solstices and the equinoxes, so quarterly. It also gives you a check-in to go back to your year ahead card reading and take a look at what you wrote and how that is working out for you, how accurate that was. It invites you into a season ahead reading and then a ritual for the turning of the wheel of the year. These books are only available once a year, and they're only available from Friday the 24th until December 1st. So the cart opens for those. Everyone orders their books, and then I close the cart, and all of your books are custom printed, and I mail them myself from my little hands to your little hands. So these are projects I've been working on making books since 2012. I love doing them. So I don't have a bookmaking company, but I do love journaling, and journaling is one of my favorite personal development tools. So making guided journals is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm really excited to share the Master Moon book with you. And the link is going to be in the show notes for this. And again, those will only be available from the 24th till December 1st. The second offer I have available for Black Friday is another book-related project. It's called Body Love Book Club 2024. I'm launching a new version of my program, Body Love Lab, which is a program to help us heal our relationship with our physical bodies. So it touches on everything, every single aspect of self-care, also including the way we talk to ourselves, the way we show up in relationships, the way we set boundaries, our relationship with food, with movement, with sex, with sensuality, with pleasure, will all be touched on in this process. And this year, the way that we're doing it is that it is a year-long program, and you're going to get one chapter of the book every month. And in that chapter, you'll be guided through some introspection, some journaling, some activities, some things to pay attention to and notice in your own life. There will be a private Facebook group for discussion about what we're discovering. And then once a month, we're going to have a live group Q&A where we can discuss the things that are coming up for us as we do this healing work. It's only $22 a month if you register between now and December 1st. On December 1st, the price is going to go up to $33 a month. There are year ahead deals right now for Black Friday. It's $222 for the whole year, so you get 2 months free. And then when the price goes up, it'll be $333 for the year or $33 a month. And then my very last offer for Black Friday is that I still have 4 spots available to work with me one-on-one in private coaching and mentorship for 2024. And if you book a call by December 1st, or really by November 30th, you will lock in the 2023 price and you will get a month of coaching for free. You'll get December coaching for free. So there's tons more details, but really, if you are a creative entrepreneur or an artist and you are focused on catapulting into your next level next year, creating a life and business that is aligned with who you are and what you want and your desires, and living life the way you want to live it, and creating a business that is built around your life versus the other way around, a way of relating to business, to money, to sharing that is based on your authenticity, your pleasure, your joy, and breaking free of feeling like you need to burn out or overwork to be successful. I'm your gal, and I would love to help you make that happen for yourself in 2024. So all of the links for all of those things will be they're in my bio. If you're watching on Instagram, they're going to be in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, they're going to be in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast. For Instagram fam, make sure you go like, share, subscribe, join on YouTube, because Instagram will not be getting these readings live anymore after January. We're all going to be after December. It's all going to be on YouTube. YouTube fam, if you're here, please make sure you're subscribed if you haven't subscribed yet. If you're listening on the podcast, please go over to YouTube and subscribe so that you can watch the video version of the podcast. Okay, that's all of the business. That's all of the announcements. That's all I've got. Kay, love you. Bye.